Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss with the very relevant topics of the financial market, that is intermediary of the financial markets. Who are the intermediaries of the financial market and how they are playing the important role in contributing the GDPs by giving employment opportunities to the rural literate financial youth, literate youth of finance who are looking after a job after doing their finance studies. So we can see that these are the very important pillars right now who are there in the field of finance, which is giving so much employment opportunities to our youth, and their main function is to transfer money from where it is to the place where it is needed the most, to put it as simple as that. So taking up the first topic of the intermediary under this video, we are going to first discuss about mutual funds in brief. So what is mutual fund? So a mutual fund is a type of financial vehicle made up of a pool of money collected from many investors to invest in securities like stocks, bonds, money market instruments and other assets. Mutual funds are operated by professional money managers who allocate the fund's assets and attempt to produce capital gains or income for the fund's investors. A mutual fund's portfolio is structured and maintained to match the investment objectives stated in its prospectus. Mutual fund gives small or individual investors access to professionally managed portfolios of equities, bonds, and other securities. Each shareholder therefore participates proportionately in the gains or losses of the fund. Mutual fund invest in a vast number of securities, and performance is usually tracked as the change in the total market capital of the fund, derived by the aggregating performance of the underlying investment. To give you an example how mutual funds portfolio is maintained, suppose if a customer has 100 rupees, the mutual fund will do what? They will first invest a big chunk of money, a big proportion of money in the safest zone. For example, if suppose there is a guarantee of return is sure, then that becomes the first avenue for investment of a launch share of the mutual fund pooled amount. For example, 60% may go to the schemes like government bonds, debentures, or the NSC by the post offices, and such schemes where we can see that the investment is more likely not to fail. Then proportionately they invest in slightly riskier zone where they invest in the schemes of mutual funds kind of stuff, golds and commodities, instruments related to the properties, etc. Then whatever remains is invested in the riskier zones like shares, derivative market, where the risk versus reward is very significant. So this is how mutual fund companies maintain their portfolio. Now coming on to the functioning of mutual funds. First is investing the pooled money into the market according to the theme and goal of the mutual fund schemes. Second is beating the benchmark index with the scheme on a consistent basis. Third, capturing the upsides of the market while also protecting from the bearish market. And four is theme-based investing. We can see that some are equity-linked shares, some are related with the bonds, some are related with the bullion stocks like gold, silver, platinum, some are related with the commodities and other stuffs, some are related with the infrastructure line and length. Their basic portfolio is investment in the shares of the infrastructure companies like ACC Cement, L&T, technology-based companies, etc. Now, what are the significance of mutual funds? First, it is convenient. For the investors who cannot do trading or investing in stock markets, mutual funds gives them an avenue for safe zone investment. How? For investors, one of the most prominent benefit that mutual funds provide is convenience. By investing in a single fund, they can gain access to a broad range of the financial market. A typical diversified equity funds can spread out the money across tens of stocks with some portion invested in fixed income securities as well. Then another important significance is diversification. Yes, if an investor wants to focus on one segment of the market, for instance, large cap stocks, funds focused on this segment can spread out the investment across multiple large cap stocks in just one transaction of purchasing the fund. If the investors were to try to do that themselves, it would take a lot of effort, transaction costs also, and time to create an individual large cap stock portfolio. So here we can see a cumulative portfolio made of so many investors by just investing in a mutual fund. The situation with this investing is in bonds is even more difficult if one tries to do it individually rather than taking the fund route. Next is ease of investment. Apart from this, mutual funds are easy to buy and sell. One can either engage the services of a distributor or agent to transact in funds or do it over the internet themselves. In case of latter, the transaction amount is debited from and comes directly to the bank account linked with the mutual fund account, depending on whether a fund has been bought or sold. So we can see that mutual fund has become that much convenient that you can now do buy and sell the mutual funds on your mobile also, the smartphones that we have now. Then there is another feature is spoiled for choice. That means this feature follows from the convenience aspect discussed above. Investors have several choices when it comes to mutual funds, and given their investment objectives, funds provide access to a wide range of financial instruments, sectors and strategies. So it is more on the choice base of the investors that the mutual fund investment can be done. Next is professional management. This is a very important aspect in mutual funds. This is one of the factor which is a key highlight of the importance of mutual funds. Due to lack of expertise, several investors don't have the confidence in taking the financial market route to grow their wealth. They feel they have limited or no capability to invest in stocks and bonds on their own and do not have the time to keep tracking their investments even if they manage to invest on their own. So this is one of the very important function, that your money is in safe hands or is in hands of the person or a group of person who are having very much expertise in the financial markets and they are investing your money. So their chances of your value of your money enhancing of value of money becomes more as it is done by professionals. Now, keeping mutual funds that much in brief, for more you stay tuned for my another video where I'll be discussing mutual funds in detail. So now moving on, the next topic under intermediaries is credit rating. What is credit rating? Yes, credit rating is an analysis of the credit risk associated with a financial instrument or a financial entity. It is a rating given to a particular entity based on the credentials and to the extent to which the financial statement of the entities are whether sound or not, in terms of borrowing and lending that has been done in the past. Credit rating is just like we could see that grades that are given to us in our examinations, that if someone belongs to 90 to 100% of marks, he is given A category, and from 80 to 90 gets B category, from 70 to 80 gets C category. Likewise, grading is done of the, basically it was initiated with the debt instruments, and credit rating agency were looking after the credit worthiness of a company, which goes for the credit rating being done of its instruments. And under this one, the credit rating companies look after whether or not the company has paid its debt, the principal amount is returned, with interest or not on time. That means if it is done, if the payment is repaid with interest on time, then the creditworthiness of the company increases and they are given higher rating than others. What are the functions? Yes, when the credit rating companies publish the report, they give low cost information as the credit rating agencies collects, analyzes, interprets and makes a proper conclusion of any complex data and transforms it into a very lucid and easily understandable manner. Second important function is it provides a basis for suitable risk and return. The instruments rated by rating agencies gets greater confidence amongst investors community. It also gives an idea regarding to the risk associated with the instruments. Next, it helps in formulation of public policy. If debt instruments are professionally rated, it becomes very easy to judge the eligibility of various securities for inclusion in the institutional portfolio with greater confidence. Next is it provides superior information. Credit rating agencies being an independent rating agency due to highly trained and professional staff and with the access of information which is not publicly available information, these agencies are able to deliver superior information. That is important function. Next is it enhances corporate image. Yes, the better credit rating for any credit investments enhances visibility and corporate image in the industry as it creates goodwill, since credit rating agencies are considered to be an autonomous body who are very critical about your performance, and they give the rating that they feel which they judge to be right. What are the significance of credit rating? It helps giving us lower cost of borrowings. Yes, a company with highly rated instruments has the opportunity to reduce the cost of borrowings from the public by quoting lesser interest on the fixed deposits or debentures or bonds as the investors with the low risk. Preference would come forward to invest in safe security, though yielding marginally lower rate of return. Next is wider audience for borrowings. Yes, a company with highly rated instruments can approach the investors extensively for this resource mobilization using the press media. Investors in different strata of the society could be attracted by higher rated instruments as the investors understands the degree of certainty about timely payment of interest and principal on debt instruments with better rating. Next is rating as a marginal tool. Companies with rated instruments improve their own image and avail for the rating as a marketing tool to create better image in dealing with its customers. And the customer feel confidence in the utility products manufactured by the companies carrying higher rating for their credit instruments. It helps in reduction of cost in public issue. Yes, a company with higher rate instruments is able to attract the investors and with least efforts can raise funds. Thus, the rated companies can economize and minimize cost of public issues by controlling expenses on media coverage, conferences, and other publicity stunts and gimmicks. Rating facilitates best pricing and timing of issue. It helps for growth. Yes. Rating provides motivation to the company for growth as the promoter feels confident in their own effort and are encouraged to undertake expansion of their operations or new projects. Then it helps unknown issuers. Yes, credit rating provides a recognition to a relatively unknown issuer while entering into the market through wider investor base who rely on rating grade rather than on the name recognition, because they trust the credit rating agencies, not the company. Now, moving on to the third intermediary, which is the important one, it is depository. We all know that depository, what is depository? If you don't, then I'll give you the meaning of it. A depository is a facility such as building office, or warehouse in which something is deposited for storage or safeguarding. It can refer to an organization, banks, or institution that holds securities and assist in the trading of securities. We know that in India, basically two are the very important depositories which are working right now. First one is CDSL, that is Central Depository Securities Limited, which is of BSC, and of NSC we know the NSDL, that is National Securities Depository Limited. They are working very efficiently in order to execute trades and do clearing works. What are the functions of depository? It helps in quick transfers of securities and funds. Depositories involve trading of securities online, electronically using demat accounts. Unlike physical transfer of securities, there is no involvement of physical transfer of certificates of securities now, like before. Everything is done on a paperless basis, fully digitally. This reduces the overall time involved in the whole process, thus enabling the immediate transfer of ownership of securities. Beneficial owner on transfer of securities from one account to another immediately transfer the fund. Next, it reduces brokerage cost. Yes, depositories reduce the overall brokerage cost required for trading of securities. Investors can avail different benefits when shares are traded in dematerialized forms. Brokers charges less amount for dematerialized share as compared to the trading of shares using physical documents, which was in the past. Shares when traded in dematerialized form reduces the cost of handling papers form, thereby bringing down the overall trading cost. It facilitates transfer of dividends and other benefits. Yes, depositories maintain a complete record of ownership of securities in its account. It maintains a full record of securities in electronic form. This facilitates proper and fast disbursement of interest and dividends on the different investors to the different investors. Several non-cash benefits like bonus, right shares are transferred to the investor's account directly with the help of this depository system and demat accounts. Next one is it eliminates stamp duty. Securities over the depository systems are transferred online without the involvement of any paperwork. Investors are not required to fill any physical form and affix stamps for the transfer of their securities. Investors are relieved from paying stamp duty while transferring their shares. Next is it reduces risk of loss and damage of physical certificates. Yes, depositories store and safeguard the securities of its investors. It minimizes all chances of theft and damage of share certificates. Investors are not required to hold the certificates of their securities in physical form. All physical certificates are damaged and stored in digital form by depositories. This safeguards the investors and eliminates all chances of thefts and damage of share certifications. Now, what are the significance of depository? First, it helps in growth of securities transaction. Yes, there has been considerable growth in securities transactions, especially in the post-reform period, that is since 1991. After 1991, the Government of India introduced several reforms in the Indian economy, including capital market reforms, and under this, depository has ever since played an important role in improving the way of transaction of share certificates and scripts. Nowadays it has become very easily available. We can do that also in our respective mobiles. Next is to comply with the global standards. Yes, almost all the developed markets had introduced the depository systems, ensuring efficient transfers and settlement of securities. Due to reforms in capital markets, the foreign institutional investors are allowed to deal in stock exchanges. For this purpose, the government also introduces the Depository Act 1996. Next one is it enhances the liquidity in stock markets. And the next one is it enhances the liquidity in stock markets. There was a need to enhance liquidity in Indian stock market. The seller of the securities to get immediate cash payment of their transactions. The depository undertakes the trade and settlement processing through its subsidiary, and it has been doing it very quickly now. Next is to ensure transparency in allotment of shares. Yes, nowadays the allotment of share is to be done only through the Demat mode. The allotment of share is to be effected through the depository in the Demat account of the investors. This has generated transparency in allotment of shares and reduced manipulations relating to transfer of shares. Next, centralized system in security dealings. There was a need to adopt a central system for handling all the securities dealing. This has been made possible by settling up central depository system, although there are two different depositories which are working, and they are the major player in the depository field, that is NSDL of NSE that we have discussed earlier, and CDSL of BSE. Now moving on to the fourth aspect of the intermediary, that is custodial services. What is custodial services? A custodial service is when an entity or individual holds a client's property or money on their behalf. The custodian is responsible for the safety of the financial products. If you are a custodial client, you are still the beneficial owner of the financial products, but are held on your behalf by the custodian. So, depository function is also of custodial in nature. What is function of custodial services? First, it holds the scheme securities in Demat account. It undertakes the activities as a domestic depository in terms of the Depositories Act 1996 or as permitted by the Securities and Exchange Board of India. It provides custodial services to pension funds managing the schemes. It helps in collection of benefits or rights accruing on the securities. It helps in informing pension funds about corporate actions. It helps in maintaining and reconciling records of the securities. So this is all we have in this video of intermediaries. We have seen the custodial services of depositories and what is credit rating, what is mutual fund. This was a brief overview about all these things. I will be discussing in detail about each and everything in my upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. In the end of the video there are references for additional reading regarding the topics. You can go through it, and if in case of any queries you can discuss with me on my email that is given. So thank you very much.